August 20th, 2025. The Ukraine-Russia war continues in full intensity. A Russian infantry vehicle was spotted advancing in the Zaporizhia region. A Ukrainian FPV drone moved in.
Can anybody tell me what this car is? To me, it looks like one of those cars.
In for the strike, but the vehicle narrowly escaped. Its advance didn't last long, however. The vehicle hit an anti-tank mine and was destroyed. A Ukrainian fiber optic FPV drone spotted a Russian soldier hiding behind a tree. The soldier tried to use the tree as cover to evade the drone. The Ukrainian drone pilot carefully maneuvered, slowly finding the right angle, and ultimately, the Russian soldier became the drone's target. Two Russian soldiers were targeted and neutralized by FPV drones from Ukraine's 414th UAV Brigade, known as the Hungarian Birds. When the soldiers noticed the drone watching them...
What's up with the Hungarian Birds? Are these like the Hungarian group FPV pilots, or that's just what they're Ukrainian, but that's just what they call them? I'm curious about that part.
They tried to hide among tall grass, but this proved to be a fatal mistake. The FPV drone tracked them with precision, finding the Russian soldiers and eliminating the threat with deadly accuracy.
Seeds.
Fiber optic FPV drones of Ukraine's...
You can see the nets right here. They got the whole net system figured out, but these fiber optic drones still get through, baby.
Battalion carried out strikes on Russian troop routes. Along the logistics lines, multiple Russian vehicles were taken out one by one. Most of the time, the soldiers never even noticed the incoming drones until it was too late.
Wow.
Each strike disrupted Russian movements and left their supply efforts in chaos. The relentless drone pressure continues to weaken Russian positions across the front.
Bro, that's a direct hit right there. People in the comment section, do you understand what FAFO means? People are dying. Russian people are dying. Do you know what FAFO means? Do you understand what it means? I'm going to ask you again. FAFO. Look it up. They're dying because they're on the Ukrainian soil. Go back home, and then you won't die.
A Russian soldier was spotted while attempting to cross into Ukrainian positions. As he tried to climb over the border fences, the 60th Separate Mechanized Brigade launched an FPV drone strike, targeting him precisely.
Just like that.
In August, Ukrainian forces successfully repelled large Russian assault groups, halting their advances and inflicting significant losses. The majority of targets for Ukrainian FPV drones were Russian infantry. Soldiers moving in groups or in pairs were repeatedly targeted over the same areas. Even Russian motorcycle units became prime targets, taken out one by the drones.
Nice.
But it wasn't only the infantry. Howitzers and rocket launcher systems being deployed to frontline positions were also destroyed.
These are good videos.
Demonstrating the wide-reaching impact of Ukraine's drone operations.
Wow.
A Russian assault group was spotted in the Bakhmut region. As the unit attempted to advance, a kamikaze drone strike hit immediately. The first strike threw the team into disarray, disrupting their formation and slowing their advance. One of the soldiers managed to survive the initial strike and began running. By sheer luck, he also evaded several subsequent drone attacks, continuing to flee toward the river. Meanwhile, the remaining Russian soldiers, taking cover under a tree, were struck by an FPV drone, which delivered the final blow. Another Russian soldier, who survived the initial chaos, tried to hide under a tree, but was immediately targeted by the FPV drone. Two Russian soldiers managed to flee toward the river, but became stuck in the swampy waters. Unable to cross, they were met with another FPV drone strike.
Can you imagine getting stuck in the mud and then a drone comes and finishes you off? Now that's the stuff right there.
facing a deadly attack they could not evade. In an operation conducted jointly by the Sigma Battalion and Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade, FPV fiber optic drones carried out strikes on Russian logistics routes. Numerous vehicles became clear targets for the drones.
Nice.
Even though the routes were protected with signal jammers, the fiber optic drones continued their attacks without being affected, demonstrating the precision and effectiveness of Ukraine's drone capabilities. Fiber optic FPV drones have become a game changer in the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Unlike conventional drones, these advanced systems are resistant to jamming and signal interference, allowing Ukrainian operators to strike targets with unmatched precision.
Nice.
A Ukrainian tank from the 64th Mechanized Brigade advances alone toward houses where Russian sabotage and reconnaissance groups had infiltrated in Zarishny village,
Wake up!
Donetsk region. The tank
They were all sleeping. It was nighttime. They get woken up by some fire.
opens fire on each of the 5 targeted houses one by one. Shells strike with precision, destroying the structures and neutralizing the Russian soldiers inside. Each
Crazy.
house falls in succession, showcasing the accuracy and firepower of Ukraine's armored units on the front line. In the Kupiansk direction, the Ukrainian Condor unit of the 1st Presidential Brigade,
Look at that.
Burevyi, took out several Russian UAVs. Using advanced anti-drone systems and aerial strikes from their own drones, the operators successfully neutralized the threat in the skies. In the Toretsk direction, the Predator unit of Ukraine's National Police Brigade took out numerous Russian ambush-style FPV drones.
Drones on drones.
Normally, it was Ukrainian forces who used this tactic, deploying drones along the roads to set up deadly ambushes. But now, Russia has begun copying the same strategy, turning their own drones into hidden traps. Ukrainian aviation carried out a strike on Russian positions in Myron, Zaporizhzhia region. Precision-guided bombs were dropped on the targets, destroying fortifications and equipment with devastating accuracy. Ukrainian forces from the 20th Separate Regiment of Unmanned Systems, K2 unit, have been actively targeting Russian units both inside cities and along frontline positions. Their drones move with precision, identifying Russian patrols, vehicles, and fortified positions, often striking before the troops even realize they are being watched. These operations have disrupted Russian advances, destroyed key equipment, and forced enemy units to constantly relocate. In urban areas, the K2 drones navigate tight streets and alleys, eliminating threats with deadly accuracy. While on the front lines, they continue to pressure Russian formations, demonstrating the effectiveness of Ukraine's unmanned systems in modern warfare. In these footage, a hangar housing Russian vehicles is targeted. Within moments, the strike hits with precision, and the entire hangar is destroyed, eliminating the vehicles inside and showcasing the devastating impact of Ukraine's drone operations. A Russian soldier decided to follow a Ukrainian drone in order to surrender and become a POW. However, a Russian Mavic drone targeted him, attempting to kill their own surrendering comrade. Luckily, the soldier managed to evade the attack, reached Ukrainian positions alive, and received medical treatment for his injuries.
Bro, the Russians are like, So they use their own drones to try to kill their own people before they surrender. That's pathetic. That really shows the true colors of Russia. Sad, sad, sad country. Poor country. Sad.
2 Ukrainian Bulava loitering munitions, guided by a Lelika 100 M2 reconnaissance drone, targeted a Russian Tu-S1 Gvozdika self-propelled howitzer. The coordinated strike destroyed the artillery piece completely, leaving the Russian crew with no chance to respond. This operation took place southwest of Pokrovska village in the Donetsk region, demonstrating how Ukrainian drones and loitering munitions work together to eliminate high-value targets on the battlefield.
Good.
After the railway was blown up, a freight train derailed, creating chaos along the line.
Look at the size
Ukrainian
of that.
FPV drones then targeted and destroyed fuel tanks meant to supply Russian soldiers. Reports indicate that some Russian personnel were wounded in the attack. This operation took place near the village of Ostrivka, Zaporizhia region, highlighting the effectiveness of Ukraine's drone strikes in disrupting Russian logistics.
Damn, bro. Look at the size of that fire. Whew. That's a good operation right there.
This time, the new target of the Signum Battalion was Russian artillery positions. FPV drones successfully infiltrated the sites, taking out the artillery units one by one.
Nice.
No matter how well they tried to hide, Russian positions could not escape the sights of Ukraine's experienced drone pilots. With low-cost drones, Ukrainian forces successfully eliminated Russian artillery units worth thousands of dollars. In addition to artillery strikes, Signum Battalion drones also targeted ammunition depots and resupply points.
Nice.
Every successful hit not only destroyed equipment, but also disrupted Russian firepower on the front line. As of August 20th, 2025, the battlefield remains tense, with Ukrainian forces holding key positions and continuing to press their advantage. Russian assaults have been repelled across multiple fronts, but sporadic clashes and drone strikes continue to inflict casualties on both sides. Meanwhile, on the diplomatic front, US President Donald Trump held talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin, aiming to explore a possible path toward peace. Shortly after, Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to coordinate strategies and discuss security guarantees for Ukraine. A proposed summit between Putin and Zelensky is on the table, with Budapest being considered as a neutral venue. European nations are expected to take the lead in providing security support, while the US offers coordination and military assistance. Humanitarian issues also remain critical, including the return of nearly 20,000 Ukrainian children taken by Russian forces, a key topic in the ongoing discussions. The coming weeks will be decisive. Will these diplomatic efforts bring a breakthrough, or will the conflict continue to rage on? For now, both the battlefield and the negotiation table are tightly contested, and the world watches closely as events unfold.
I don't know about you guys, but I think the drone strikes have actually increased in the last couple months. Like you see way more drone footage now. It's just, there's so much of it. And, Zelensky went to the White House. That was a good thing. It's looking a little better. I ain't gonna lie. It's looking a little better. I feel like things are going into the right direction. We might have something good here. But it's gonna take time. I think it's gonna take another couple weeks to really know if things are gonna go through or not. It's all gonna depend on both parties. Zelensky is ready. He is ready. He's ready to do this thing where Putin is just keep buying more time. Because he thinks if he buys more time, he can capture more land before they do ceasefire or some kind of a peace talks, right? And I don't think Putin's gonna make any progress on the battlefield. It's becoming more of a stalemate. Even the Russian media, which is the big mouthpiece for Kremlin, the biggest propaganda in Russia, the whole media, they're actually coming out and saying that there is a stalemate on the battlefield. Like the Russians are not capturing any more land. I mean, maybe a little, maybe like 40 yards every 2 weeks or whatever it is, right? But it's not like enough. Like they're losing a lot of people for that, like 20 yards. Like they're losing a lot of people. So we're getting close to potentially something big, and we shall see in the next couple weeks. That's my opinion. Stay safe out there. Make sure to like the video, comment if you have any concerns or questions, or I might missed something. I always miss something. Let me know in the comment section. Підпишись, це безкоштовно. Love you all. And we'll see you guys next time. До побачення.